Yo, what's going on, guys? Coach Vic here. So I'm hopping on here to answer some of the questions that I got on Instagram. The question is, how do you pick up the ball, or how do you know where it's going to go when it leaves the hand of the pitcher? And so we'll obviously, right, the goal of this is we need to pick the ball up as soon as it comes out of the pitcher's hand so that we can quickly begin to calculate and make the decision where the pitch is going to be and whether or not we should swing. And so one of the ways to do this is you want to have a focal point on the pitcher that is very close to the release point of the hand of the pitcher. And so I usually, if I'm helping a player with this is kind of how I'll start the conversation. So, well, what are you looking at? And so oftentimes the player just says, well, I'm just looking at the pitcher. And I was like, that's not the worst thing in the world, but still it's not specific enough, right? If we're just general gaze at the pitcher, our eye is not focused, right? And so then as soon as the ball starts to come out of the hand, all of a sudden our eye has to refocus to something finer. And oftentimes that can be the difference in you picking it up early out of the hand, and then therefore lead to you not making a good decision on that pitch. Again, we want to find a focal point that is closest to the release point. So I'll ask a hitter, I say, so what is that point? What is the closest part of the pitcher's body to his hand at release? So if you think about it, the pitcher's releasing out here, what's the closest part of his body? Well, it's not his body itself, but it's going to be his head, no matter the pitcher. Even if it was a sidearm guy, they're still going to have some tilt. The closest thing to their hand is actually their head. And then what part of their head, should we be looking at? Well, not just the head, but something that is actually similar to the size of a baseball. And so one of those things is actually the logo, right? So every hat of every team, every pitcher is going to have a logo on it. Sometimes it's even round, so that can almost help. But usually there's a darker hat with a lighter logo on there, whether it's a circle or like mine, it's a triangle, whatever it is, or it's a couple letters. From your perspective as a hitter, it looks like almost like a circle and about the size of a baseball. And also, the head is the most stable part of the pitcher. So no matter what he does in his windup and his delivery with his arms, if he's kind of a bigger movement kind of guy, which is just trying to throw off the hitter, the head is going to be the most stable and the most smooth throughout the delivery. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. When you're in the box before the pitcher starts his windup, you're going to hyper focus on the logo of the hat. Okay, and like I said, oftentimes it's a lighter color in contrast with the hat itself, so it's going to pop a little bit. Okay, and it's just a little tricky at first. It feels a little awkward because you're not used to it, but you want to dial in on this. Okay, and now while you're watching the logo, you can still see what the pitcher's doing. You can still see when he starts his windup, his delivery. And so as the pitcher breaks his hands and then gets his arm up into slot, you're going to shift your focus from here to that window where the release point is coming from. And so what that's going to do is you're going to be focusing, because you're focusing on something that is small and similar size to the baseball, your eye doesn't have to adjust. It doesn't have to focus, kind of like a camera, right? If things get closer to the camera, it focuses on that, and then everything else in the back gets blurry, right? And vice versa. I focus for distance, then something up close gets blurry. See, that little split second that it takes for our eyes to adjust, like I said, is going to be significant in the time it takes to track and recognize the pitch that's coming. Okay, so now this takes practice. Okay, so I recommend doing this. You can do this even on deck in the dugout. You don't have to be in the box to watch the pitcher's logo. If you can't see the logo because of your angle, just focus on his hat. Right? And then as he goes up, boom, you just shift your focus over to his hand and track the ball all the way to the plate. Definitely do this maybe even in bullpens when your own pitcher is warming up. See if you can stand in on him, work on that. You could also do this while you're playing catch, okay? Just warming up. Start focusing on the logo and then shifting your focus to the release point once the arm gets up into slot, okay? And again, it's something that takes some practice. You got to be consistent with it, but I'm telling you right now, the ball is gonna look so fat because you're gonna see it out of the hand so early, so much earlier than what you're used to. And so what you can expect, what's gonna happen here is that because you're gonna get really good at shifting focus, you're gonna start picking up the release point. And the release point is gonna start looking slower and slower and slower because you're training your eye. And so what you're gonna start to do is you're gonna start to recognize different pitches out of the hand. So you'll start to see when a pitcher kind of pronates the changeup, or you'll be able to see the grip. You'll be able to see a curveball kind of pop up out of the hand, or versus a fastball that kind of comes down out of the hand. It's going to tremendously help improve your ability to pick up that pitch early, fast, and then make better decisions. Okay, guys, let me know if that was helpful. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, comment, you know what to do. Make sure to ring the bell so you get notified of future videos. Okay. Otherwise, if you have any more questions, drop them in the comments down below, whether you're on Instagram or on YouTube, and then I can answer your questions like this. Okay, guys, take care.